Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how I made my own bookmark pattern design. So here I had some illustrations that I whipped up. I decided to do like a moth, Luna moth, bookish kind of design. I made this specifically for a market that I was doing. It was kind of niche in the sense that it was themed for book lovers, and it was a night market, so it was happening at night. And so I thought that maybe designing a pattern that focused around books and the concept of nighttime would be something fun to do, to have a fun product for this vendor event. So I came up with these illustrations. I have a Luna moth, and then I have a Luna moth larva. And I had them on books. Here I am loading each individual illustration into Photoshop. And Photoshop has this nifty pattern preview tool. And then once you have that, you can kind of see that it repeats everything outside of the square, and you can even kind of offset them outside of the square and it will repeat outside. And this is a good way to ensure that you're going to have a full repeating pattern. And so I was just arranging my assets, kind of sizing them up or down, trying to figure out the best sizing and layout. Because I didn't want similar assets too close to each other. I was kind of struggling with these two moths being really close together and the two caterpillars close together, and everything just kind of felt tight. So I'm just messing around with it, and that's really like the big thing about pattern design, is just like you kind of gotta get them just going until they make sense. And then this was a good layout where it was basically 3 rows with 2 assets on each row, kind of offset from each other. And then after I had that layout, I was happy with it. I was happy with how it looked when I zoomed out. I started adding my small little star assets, and I was mirroring them like horizontally to get some variation. So yeah, with these assets, I really focused on consistent color palette and shape language. I didn't render these the fullest extent, so I just really focused on let the shapes and the colors speak for themselves. I tend to over render things sometimes, and I've learned that over rendering doesn't automatically equal good art. Like, you can render something, and there is a point where you can over render it. So that was my thought process with this. Then I'm bringing in my pattern. I'm saving it, and it comes in as this tile, and then you can just place it right next to each other, and it should tile perfectly if you did it correctly. And so I have a bookmark file with the correct sizing. It's where I put all my other bookmarks in, and I assemble my bookmark patterns. So I brought that in, and I'm just lining them up perfectly so the pixels line up just right. And I keep tiling until I get an orientation that I'm happy with. So in this case, I was kind of thinking, do I want the main Luna moth reading the book right in the center, or do I kind of want it offset a little bit where you get a little bit of that caterpillar too? I think that's what I ended up doing. I really like Photoshop. You really can do a lot of cool things. It's not just, shopping photos, it's not just for photo editing. I primarily use it to draw in, although I didn't draw these assets in Photoshop. I drew them in Sketchbook Pro, which is kind of my guilty pleasure drawing software. It's where I learned to do digital art, and I have a hard time giving it up. If you ever have the chance to learn Photoshop, take it. It's a really awesome program. Hate the subscription service though, but if you ever have an opportunity to try out Photoshop, you should do it. It's really cool. There's a lot of really neat things you can do within the program that you don't really get to do in other drawing programs. I like to add tassels in my bookmarks, so I'm making a little circle. Yeah, here I am, deleting that extra pixels there to make that circle, so that when I load it into Cricut, it knows exactly what to cut. It can cut the holes, and yeah. So here's the final pattern. As you can see, it's infinitely tileable, so this could go on anything. I made it at a pretty big resolution. So yeah, you can make it really big, you can make it really small, and that's what I like. I like doing surface design for this reason, because it's just kind of fun to put it on a bunch of different products and see how it looks. And in this case, it's a bookmark. So once I finished my bookmark file, I loaded it into Cricut and I printed it out. And here's Cricut cutting it out, being a good little Cricut machine. So I laminate these on both sides, so they're nice and sturdy. And here's the final product. Add the tassel to it. Yeah, these are fun. They're fun little projects. They don't take me a whole lot of time. And I'm happy to bring this kind of themed product to my themed market event. So yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching.